Hey guys, it's George. No, not George Harrison, but George from Diamond Yard Sports Cards here. I'm going to do a video response to the 2,000 subscribers for our friends' awesome channel, Baseball Card Junkies, which is Nate and Titanic Taters. Nate tops 85401. I know that there were questions about, one of the questions was, how did you get your name? I started as Diamond Yard on eBay in 2004, and then what I did was, when I started on YouTube not that long ago, I just thought about, well, should I keep that name or not? I guess the name comes from my collecting when I was growing up. I always tried to find diamonds in the rough, find good deals, like we all do now on eBay, and try to get the best value I can in my cards. So looking for those diamonds in the rough, and then growing up in the 80s, watching a lot of SportsCenter when it first came on, and Berman and Oberman and Patrick would always talk about guys going yard. And so when you go yard, obviously you're hitting a long ball, and so I just thought Diamond Yard would be a good mix of that. Anyway, also the part of the contest was to pick 5 cards that are oddball cards, kind of your side Bs, as they said, which was a really cool reference. So the side Bs that I have, they're not all baseball cards. It's called BaseballCardJunkiesTV, but I just figured I didn't see anything requiring that, so I'd give it a shot with just regular, with different types of cards. So here we go. So the first card I want to show is kind of an oddball card here, is a 1977 Topps Bake McBride. Now, Bake McBride was a great baseball player, a great name, and he had a great afro. He had an awesome style of playing. He played with a lot of speed, and I just thought this was kind of an oddball card. And it kind of also is about what I did when I didn't know what I was doing, necessarily grading cards. So what I did with this, I cracked a box of 1977 Topps baseball many, many years ago. I'm talking 2005 or so. And I got it from a dealer I thought was pretty cool, good dealer at that time. So I opened the box. I got a mishmash of cards. I don't know if they had been gone through. I got a lot of stars, but you know, got a miscut Andre Dawson rookie and a miscut Dale Murphy rookie. But anyway, this is an example of what you do when you really don't know what you're doing about grading cards. I thought it had sharp corners, like, you know, what I'm looking for when I'm growing up. The color was good, but clearly it's OC. But I just had to have this Bake McBride cased. Bake McBride, quite a ball player. It says here that he teamed with Lou Brock. Let's see if I can get less glare on this. He teamed with Lou Brock in 1974, breaking the record for stolen bases by teammates at 148. Now, probably that's been broken since, because Rickey stole like 135 in 1982. But if you look at those numbers there, 317 lifetime batting average. He was a Rookie of the Year in 1974. You can see there. And then Bake was also an All-Star in 77. This was a really good year for him. And then in 1980, he was a great, I think maybe he was 10th in the MVP voting that year. He hit 309, 171 hits, 87 RBI, and 13 stolen bases for the 1980 Philadelphia Phillies, who won the title. And he hit number 2 and 3 in the order for them. But if you look at his other cards, they're great. I mean, you know, he's got just a great style about him. I love that Pittsburgh Pirates style cap that the Cardinals would have in the 70s sometimes. But anyway, this is an oddball card. It's Bake McBride. Second card, kind of not necessarily a B-side, but this is a set people don't collect much. And if they do collect it, it's usually the superstars like Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. But this is a 1960 Fleer Branch Rickey, and it's in a 9. This Branch Rickey is one of his only major issue cards. Now, he's got a 1914 and 1915 Cracker Jack cards, which are really tough to come by. And then he's got some cards, I think, from 1930. He's got a 1923 card and a Willard's Chocolate card and a 1930 Studio card and a 40s team issue. But obviously we know Branch Rickey as being just a visionary working to try to change the gentleman's agreement and working towards integrating baseball, and was one of the major players along with you know, Jackie Robinson. But this is a rare card in the sense that you don't see many Branch Rickey cards, and this grade is pretty high. I mean, the pop report's really low on this, but you can see on the back it's got these Fleer Greats cards are wonderful. It's actually, I think, the last year that Ted Williams was an active, or a card of his when he was active. So he was the general manager of the Cardinals, Dodgers, and developed the farm systems. And as you can see there, it kind of outlines kind of what was going on with him. But, you know, Harrison Ford played him in the movie 42, did a great job. Branch Rickey, a card you don't see very often, and really a true legend. The next card I'm going to show you is actually, let me see here. This is a 1933 Skybirds. Now, who is this guy? Well, a lot of you may know. He is Baron Manfred von Richthofen, and he is the Red Baron. So, you know, growing up, I didn't know when I was really, really young. You know, Snoopy's the Red Baron on the Peanuts. But this card explains kind of the history of the Red Baron, when he was born, and he was a World War I ace, the most famous of all the aces, allegedly killing having 80 planes that he shot down. There's a lot of history involved with the Red Baron, and he actually was involved in a bad crash a year before or so that he died. But then in 1917, but then he, against doctor's orders, came back 3 weeks later to continue to fly for the Germans in World War I, ultimately being shot down in 1918, just shy of his 26th birthday. But the Skybirds card, I mean, I'm not going to get this graded. It doesn't really measure, but it is authentic. Just kind of a nice piece of history. And I just thought this was kind of an oddball card, but I always just kind of wanted to get one. Clearly it's not in great condition, and it's a little short on the bottom. But this is a card of the Red Baron. The last cards I'm going to show you are two characters that can't really be separated in history. These are 1948 Leaf boxing cards. Joe Louis is probably the most famous in this. But we have, first of all, Sugar Ray Robinson. I got this card raw and got it graded a while ago, but Sugar Ray was probably, they say, the best pound-for-pound boxer of all time. Obviously, Floyd Mayweather would have something to say about that, but if you go back and look at the old black and white videos of his fights, it's almost like they took a guy from the future and put him in, you know, the 1940s. Incredible speed and hand speed and defense. And now his nemesis and the man he fought 6 times, Jake LaMotta, the Raging Bull. The movie by Scorsese that came out in 1980 chronicles Jake LaMotta and really focuses on the 6th fight between these two. They had 6 fights, and when Robinson fought him the first time, he beat LaMotta. The second time they fought, Robinson was undefeated and Jake LaMotta defeated him. And at that time, I think Robinson was 40-0. Now, these cards are from 48, and these fighters would continue to fight beyond those years into the 50s and have ultimately their last fight in the 1950s. They fought in amazing venues. They fought at Madison Square Garden. They fought at Olympic Gardens. They fought at Comiskey Park. And again, the most famous is the Valentine's Day Massacre, which was in 1951 on, obviously, Valentine's Day, and it was depicted in Raging Bull. And these cards were actually before that fight. So anyway, we've got Sugar Ray Robinson and Jake LaMotta, these two great boxers who can't really be separated in history. They're so intertwined. Honorable mention, another strange card, but a great set if you're into this stuff. Growing up, I was a big wrestling fan, and this honorable mention goes to the 1982 Wrestling All-Stars. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, son of a plumber. So Dusty here is one of the great cards in the set, along with Andre the Giant and Ric Flair and many, many others. But I just thought that this was a great honorable mention card of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. So guys, and look at that. Trademark bionic elbow. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, and keep collecting.